Hey gang, this is John Newton and I'm out here with my beautiful wife Kath, and we're going to be trying to do a new series of real life scenario of today we're going to be doing one where I come across somebody that is hypothermic. They might have gotten lost, they might have gotten wet. We're not going to have anybody wet, but just somebody that is very cold, and where I have to try to get them warmed up and prepared so that we can try to find somebody to rescue them. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to get to a place where we're more secluded, so stay with us. So if you're careful, you can add some to your possum pouch. This is a waterproof pouch. That I love. It's I got this from Dave's Pathfinder School. It's got the logo on it, but this is really a great pouch because it's oilskin, oilcloth, and sheds water. So you can put stuff in it when it's even rainy out and it'll stay dry, pretty dry. Okay.
No, I'm freezing. I've been here for hours.
What you
Been lost.
I can help you out. You're getting hypothermia.
I can barely move.
How long have you been here?
Hours, I don't know. I've been lost.
Are you okay? You didn't fall or anything?
No, I've just been lost and kind of wandering around in circles.
Let me get this around you first. This will make you feel warmer. Around you. Now I'm going to have you lie down over here. Just wrap that around you, and I'll so you can breathe. And I'll get a place set up for you to lie down on.
I feel warmer already.
Down. I can make a little makeshift shelter right here for you, get you out of the elements. There. I'm going to have you lie down. Lie down on that. That'll help insulate you from the ground a little bit. You want to keep this blanket underneath you. Get some of the blanket underneath you. You want to radiate. Just lie down and I'll. Let me just roll you over a little bit. And I'll put this underneath you. Roll back. There you go. Just keep that on. You want to be able to breathe. There you go. I'll get a fire going and get some water on the boil for you. base. It's even more solid, okay. This is gonna sit in there good. So they're good. Now I'm going to be getting some small kindling. Little small stuff. So there's a pine tree here, so I'm going to be using pine because that goes up fast and hot. So I just have to go to the very tiny end branches to get it. Now, I have some stuff in my little possibles bag, but for this scenario, most people don't gather stuff while they're walking around in the woods. That's something that Dave is teaching all of us, because that way we're ready to start a fire. So I'm going to try to start this without using most of that stuff in there. I've got a bird's nest, because I think I might, just for fun, make a fire with a primitive method. But my patient is getting warm in the thermal blanket. I'm going to get the fire going first, and then I'm going to construct a shelter above her. If it was raining, I'd make the shelter first to get her out of the rain. But it's not, this scenario, it's not raining. She is just really cold because maybe it was evening, maybe she's wet, maybe it was raining. But I've got to gather a bunch of this to get this started. Now I'm going to start getting a little bit bigger things. Put that with it. Bigger stuff. Okay, you can set off. I got a bird's nest that I made out of poplar, and it's got some birch bark in it too. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to make I'll put it on, you don't want to put any of that on the ground because of attracting unwanted moisture. Now, in a real life scenario, I would be reaching for a lighter, and I mean, this is just for fun. This part of the fire making's for fun, but I would normally pull out a lighter and I use my gelled cotton balls that is a sure flame because it's also like an accelerant. I'm doing this because it's nice to practice this. Get a couple more big sticks. Cut. Just while that's really important to make sure you take your lid off so you don't burn it. Put the cover on, that'll help hold the heat in. Now that it's going good, now I can open up that space for my bottle. So you want to rake some of the coals all directions. Expose the area where my bottle's going. There we go. Now pull the fire around it. Smaller stuff here. This going. I'm doing is I'm using gel wax cotton balls to get this started. And I'm gonna, since it's an emergency situation, I'm gonna get this started first, and then I'm gonna get the water started while I'm getting other wood, because this burns real well. Just have to get some raw exposed cotton. Takes a spark way better than just trying to spark on the gel. Okay. Goes for the immediate fire. You gotta get going. Okay, there we go. Got a piece of fat wood I can even put in there. Now I'm going to go get some small stuff I did before. I'm going to make sure that I'm not just starting fire on the bare earth. It doesn't like that. Okay. It needs a wick. The cotton acts as the wick. So you need to expose the cotton. Tiny small stuff. Birch bark acts as an accelerant. Now I'm going to get some bigger stuff. Feed the smallest stuff in first. More wood. It's really small. Small stuff. It's almost boiling now. Okay, now I've got to get the shelter going. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tie up a ridge line between this tree and that tree. So I've got paracord for my ridge line. I've tied a bow line in one end to make a loop. And so all I'm doing is looping it through this loop. And then tightening it. Now I'm going to make a trucker's hitch on this side. So what I got to do is I got to come out here, get a loop, make a loop, and pull another loop from the tree side so it tightens down that way. And then I get the other end and pull it through, bring it up about this high, and I can tighten it and then just pinch it, and I get a loop. Pull a loop through itself, tighten it down. Okay, so I keep that loop. I'm going to use that. So my tarp has, I got 4 stakes, and I've got a line, a short loop of line tied in 2 corners. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this line out here, save it. I'm going to take this loop that I had formed. I'll get these stakes in my pocket. Grab these stakes. Feed this loop that I created up through here. This side. Put a stake, it's going to act as a toggle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull on this and tighten it down against that toggle. So what that's going to do is it's going to make this line tight. cuts.
Go.
Okay, our water's boiling. Clear an area for it. Whoa, you don't want to drop it. There we go, okay. There we got our boiling water. Take this out. Let that start to cool off. We'll let that start to cool off, and then I'll go ahead with the tarp. I put a loop through here, so now I'm going to use a trucker's hitch on this side. So I'm going to come back here, create a loop, and then grab and pull a loop through from the tree side, tighten it, then get this other end and pull it through this loop and pull back on itself, and that's tightening it. So then I pinch it off right there. Let's fill this over and reach through and pull it back on itself. Okay, so now I take this loop I run it through the grommet in the corner, and then I use one of the stakes as a toggle. Pull that in, pull it tight. Pull it tight. Now I come over to this side. I take this off. I've got this line, and I'm going to take it and pass the loop through 3 times, controlling the knot. The knot's on the side. One more time. And now I push them together, pull, dress it up. Push them together, and you get a knot just like this. Okay. That will, I can move this along the line, but when I pull on it, either way, it locks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this loop through here, get another toggle, put it in, and slide this down and lock it by pulling on it. Okay. Now the other 2 ends have the lines already fastened on them, so I just come back here, now my tarps are only 5x7s, so That's it's fairly small for making a shelter for somebody, but it's large enough that you can get them out of the weather. This. Now I'm going to take my victim and I'm going to bring them underneath here more. Okay, and now we have our hypothermic victim warming. We got a fire going. I would have made it closer to the, but this is an area where I can't, I'm dictated by where the fire pit is already, but we'd had the fire one step away from this shelter right here, and she's recovering nicely, and I've got the water's cooling down, so I'm going to start getting some warm liquids in her, and then she'll be okay.
Thanks for saving me, honey.
This is just one reason why it's important to know how to set up an emergency shelter, get a fire started, and 32 ounces of water boiling in under 15 minutes, because you don't know, somebody's life could be on the line. It's not just the fact that it's your comfort. It's nice to be able to do that to help yourself if you're really cold, or if it's about ready to storm or rain and you know you've got to get a fire going quickly. If it takes you a long time, you could be trying to do your fire in the middle of a storm. So being able to get this shelter up, fire going, water boiling, is has a multiple reasons for being able to do that skill. Having boiling water to make warm drinks is one thing, but if the victim had injuries, you'd need to sterilize things. So having boiling water is good to sterilize other things. I hope you enjoyed this little scenario. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and as always, God bless. I'm going to go over the knots that I used for putting up the shelter. So my lovely assistant is going to try to videotape up close these knots, and unfortunately it's black, but I'll try to see if I can be clear enough that you can follow along. I'm going to have to untie this one. These are for your rustics, so you got to have a way of joining a short piece of line together. This will work in joining another piece of line together too. But this is a good way. These knots are used also because you can get them out. As you can see, they're not that difficult to remove. And these have been they've been together for a long time. So to start this knot, what you want to do is you want to cross it over and then forget about the left side. Cross it over and then just make an overhand knot capturing that line, just like this. Okay, I'll do that one more time. Cross the two over, left over right. I'm doing this right-handed, so I cross left over right. Then I forget about the left side and I take the right tag, I go up underneath, capture this loop, and make an overhand knot just like that. Now I switch hands and do the same thing. Now I just pretend it was the other way. So I take this, go up through and over just like this, overhand knot just like that. Now when you pull on them, they tighten and butt up against each other just like that. Okay, that's called the fisherman's knot. That's what you use for a prusik loop. Now for the prusik, that is designed in climbing, but we use it here in this application because it's a knot that will grab onto another line and hold tight, but you can slide it along the line to adjust it. So you want to have the knot on the side, and you want to take the loop and bring the one loop through the other one and go over the line, controlling the knot, because you want that, you don't want to try to pull that through. And you do that 3 times. That's 1, 2, and one more time, 3. And see, I still have the knot on this side, so I'm going to pull. I'll slide it together to make it dressed, and then just try rolling it and pulling it together, just like that. And this is a knot that needs to be dressed correctly so that it works. Okay, that's the knot. Okay, so the center is coming out through the center. This top is from the outside, and this knot can slide this way or that way to adjust, but when you put lateral pressure in either direction, it bites on the rope and doesn't move. This is used to climb up a rope. You can put your foot in this and climb up this rope. That's what it was designed for. So that's called the prusik knot. Now for the ridge line. The ridge line, I'll show you those knots. There's just 2 knots. Okay, we'll go to this end. Well, I'll leave this here. This is a bowline knot. I'll tie one in the end of this over here because it's not going to interfere with anything. That way I can just leave that and not take up extra time. What we do with this is we wrap around the tree and take the running line through that loop, and it tightens against the tree. So a bowline is very easy. You take the line and you make an overhand loop. That's an overhand loop, so the tag is over the top of the running line. That's what overhand loop means. So an overhand loop, the running line is away from you, the tag is here. Now you take the tag end, you go up through the loop, and then around the running line, and now back down through the loop, and then you hold on to the tag and the loop, and then you pull. And so if you've done it correctly, the tag end will be alongside and inside the loop. Let me do that one more time. This is really a good knot because it's easy to take out, even after it's been wet and rainy and stuff. So one more time. Here's the tag end. You make an overhand loop, and pinch it. Take the tag, go up through, and here's how one of the little rhymes or ways to learn it is from Scouts is the rabbit comes up through the hole, it sees a fox, it runs behind the tree and runs back down into the hole. And then you grab the loop and the tag simultaneously, and then you pull on the running line. You let go of this side, you pull on the running line, and you see how you've almost got like a figure-8 type knot there. And that's it. If you want to make this knot so that it won't slip, make this tag long like this one, and then tie a half hitch in it. Now it can never come loose. Okay, so that's the bow line. That's the knot at the end that you tie in your line to make a loop. Okay, for this application, actually, if you don't care, you can use any kind of knot, any way of tying a loop in the end of the line. I'll show you a couple easy ways. You can just make a giant bite with the end and then tie an overhand loop in it. That will create a loop. You can use the same bite and tie a figure-8 knot, which is make the loop, go around behind and back through, forming a figure-8. See the figure-8 there? That is a little better than just an overhand knot. And then one last loop knot that I know is called a perfection loop. That's real easy to tie. You make an underhanded loop, like this, so it's underneath the running line. Go around your thumb, pinch it, flop the tag across, pinch that, reach through the first loop, grab the second loop, and pull it out. That's a perfection loop. Okay, so those are the 3 loop knots I know. You can take your pick, that doesn't really matter. Okay, we use a bowline just because it's easy to take out. Now the last one is called the trucker's hitch, and that one, you take the line, you go around the tree, and now you've got a tag end and the running end. So you take the running end, you come back, I like to come back 3 feet or more, then make a loop in the, just make a loop in the line, fold it over, and grab some of the line that is toward the tree, and then pull. This is what tightens, so you pull this side. Okay, I'll do that again. What you're doing is you're just making a slip knot. So you form a loop and grab the line that's on the tree side. Don't grab that way, grab the tree side line, then just tighten it down, then take the tag end that's around the tree. This rope is a little bit short for this this span of trees, but it reaches. Then you take the tag end and go through this loop and then pull back towards the tree. So you formed, in effect, you multiply your force by 1. It's just like a pulley. You see how much force, see how tight that's getting, like a bowstring. Okay, you pull that. Then when you get it tight enough, you pinch it right where it joins the loop. Throw that loop over. Throw a loop over and just reach through and grab, and well, you want to throw it over here. Throw the line over and just reach through and grab this to form another loop and just pull tight back against it. You kind of just jam it like that. That forms a half hitch there. This right here forms your loop that you put the toggle in, because this thing you can pull on, okay, and it won't, you know, if you've got it done tightly enough, it won't pull out. But the beauty of this is when you're ready to leave, you just take the toggle out, you pull this out, that comes off, and now that's a slip knot, so you just pull that and it slips. Okay, I'm going to go through this one more time. I come back about 3 feet, I make a loop, and I reach through and I pull and grab the line that's toward the tree, and then I tighten it down. Then I bring the line around the tree, and this is too short, that's why I'm grabbing the loop to make sure it doesn't pull out. You normally would want this a lot longer, but I take this, I put it through the loop, now I'm pulling back against it, and you can make this really tight. Now you pinch right where it comes together so it doesn't slip out. You just pull that over, throw a loop over that line, reach through and pull this back, and then just tighten it down just like this. Okay, and now you've got this loop that you can use for your toggle. Okay, and then if you're just using this as a trucker's hitch and you're not using that toggle system and you want to make sure this doesn't pull out, you can drop this line through this loop, and then if somebody accidentally pulls on it, that loop will be caught by that line, so it won't come out. But the beauty of this one is when you're ready to go, you just pull it, comes out, and then this, because it's a slip knot, pull on that, it comes out, and now you just take your line, This is easy because you just pull it through that loop. So you can break camp and go fast, which sometimes is very important if it's raining. I hope this helped. There's a lot of videos on knots. If you have any questions about it, you can also send me a message and I will get back to you on if you have an issue with any of the knots, but there's a lot of help out there. Once again, if you really enjoy this series, subscribe, like, and comment. We cover your comments. And once again, God bless.